Thank you for tuning in to the best parenting show on the internet, Post Daily Dose.
It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post.
Hey, good morning, Facebook and Team Post. Welcome to another episode of Morning Motivation with Big Papa. It's Wakey Wakey Wednesday, baby. That's why I think it's a little fuzzy on the camera here, because whoever's maintaining this on Facebook might be waking and baking because it's Wednesday. You know what that means, don't you? That was a very popular little term when I was in graduate school. Wakey Wakey. For us, it means we're going to wake up and make some magic. Make something happen. You guys, one of my favorite things in the whole world is watching, probably my absolute favorite thing in the whole world is reading biographies. I love to read biographies. And I've read, tons and tons of them. But the other thing second to that is, hey, good morning, Kirsten. The other thing second to that is watching biopics. So movies about people's lives. Biographies about people's lives. And this morning I was thinking about the movie Ray. If you haven't seen that, it stars Jamie Foxx. It's so good. It's about Ray Charles. Well, many people didn't know that Ray Charles, when he was like 6 years old, 6 or 7, he watched his little brother Georgie fell into a wash tub full of water. He fell backwards and he drowned. And Ray thought he was just playing. And then he actually ended up drowning. And it was within weeks or months that Ray Charles began to lose his eyesight. And he always said that he believed that watching his little brother drowned is what caused him to lose his eyesight. It's such a powerful testament to the power of emotions. That's emotional trauma, and we just don't, we don't think about that very often. And I've been on this kind of kick lately about deconstructing children's behaviors. Well, I've been on the kick actually for probably close to 20 years now, but deconstructing children's behaviors and not getting wrapped up in the behaviors, but focusing on what's underneath it, what's actually leading to the behavior. So it's just interesting, that movie. And anyway, in that movie, one of the things he said is, I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby. I always like that line. I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby. So watch that movie, Ray. It's very cool. And I have been saying for almost 20 years now, listen to the behavior, respond to the child. This is not Post Daily Dose, so I'm not going to go too far into parenting. But just wanted you guys to have that point of reflection, and I wanted to tell you about Ray Charles, and that was on my mind this morning. I think it's because I watched a YouTube interview about Jamie Foxx yesterday. He was I don't know why I was on that, but I was. So up this morning, ready to go make some magic happen. Yesterday we talked about being in a rut, and you just got to honor that, and once you honor it, you move out of it, and you just get back to business for another day. And that's what I'm doing. And I really don't have a lot to talk about this morning, other than I'm headed to the gym to get my workout in. And I've got several things on my plate for today that I've got to be focused on. Focus is very important. Usually if you don't have goals, it's a lot harder to focus, because you don't have anything that's directing you, that's kind of guiding you. Once you start to have goals, it's easier to be focused because you know what you're working on. It's just like, when I write my goals every morning, they're the same goals. sometimes I add, sometimes I take away, sometimes, some goals that were on my goal sheet don't show up the next day because they just lose importance. And then I add more. But by and large, they're the same ones. So like right now, I've got anywhere between 29 and 31 different goals that I write every morning, the same ones. And the reason I write the same ones every morning is because I'm embedding them into my unconscious. And once you start to embed positive things into your unconscious, that's what begins to show up, because your unconscious mind starts to attract those things. It's like when you go out and buy a new car, suddenly, and there's a mechanism in the brain that speaks to why we do this, but suddenly you start to see that same color car and that same car everywhere, where previously you weren't seeing it. And there's I can't remember, I think it's Tony Robbins talks about it, but this mechanism in the brain that turns on, and there's a name for it, for why we do that. And that's the same process for your goals and for the things you want to achieve, whether it's things in your parenting, whether it's things in your work life, your personal life. It doesn't matter what your goals are focused around, and my goals are usually focused around all those areas. I think the second goal that I write almost every single day is that I am faithful, focused, and persistent. And then the third one after that is every day I am more mindful and more patient. So like those are two of my top three. My very first thing I write every day has something to do with my ability to attract and to vibrate. Usually I am a creator, I am a divine creation, I am a magician. I am a child of God. And so something along those lines. And so they're all, and then it just goes deeper into, I'm writing 2 new books this year, and I have the titles of those books. So that's all about bearing those goals into your unconscious mind. And then what happens is that things show up in your day-to-day life that move you in that direction, that move you towards those goals. So that's the whole point of writing them every single day. And I've been talking to you guys about writing goals since the end of last year. It's a practice I've been doing forever. But that's the whole point, is to attract the things that you want into your life by making them a central point of focus. And it's always just interesting to me. This is the kind of stuff that goes around in my head all the time. It's just like waking up first thing in the morning. I find waking up first thing in the morning the most interesting experience, because it's like what comes right up to your conscious mind first thing, and then what you do about it. It's a lot of times, because I've been seeing this thing about this theme in a private Facebook group I'm in. People are asking about, how do you get up early? How do you get up early? And this is just a comment they're putting out to the group. And my initial thought is just get up. You don't need a formula. You don't need a plan. Just get up. But if you don't have something that motivates you and inspires you to get up, you're probably not going to get up. There must be a police officer around here. You're not going to get up. So you got to have something that inspires you and motivates you. And then one guy said, well, don't. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're not an early morning person. Maybe you're a late night person. Yeah, absolutely. Some people don't do good in the morning. And that's really the problem with school. School's built on this certain structure that doesn't really fit all children. Some kids, some human beings, some adults prefer to be up until 3 or 4 in the morning and just are going to bed right about now. And in fact, I've got a business associate. He's pretty much the same way. This guy, he doesn't respond to texts. He doesn't hardly ever check his email. He replied to an email. He replied to an email yesterday, and I was like, what the heck? I mean, it's like out of the blue. And he stays up. He goes to bed at about 3 or 4 in the morning, gets up at around 11 or 12, and you're not likely to get a hold of him until after 3. Well, that just works for him. You got to find your own rhythms. You got to find what feels good to you. You got to find what helps you get into your flow. Hey, Ann, Yes, that's the part. You're talking to your unconscious. You're programming it. Instead of programming it with all the negativity that we typically have embedded in us from childhood, you start programming it with positive things. So that's all, guys. Big Papa loves you. Go make it an amazing day. Amazing. I got to go out of town today, so I might not be up in the morning. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to go to the gym because I'm going to be out of town probably all night. Love you. See you this evening on Post Daily Dose. God bless. Have an awesome Wednesday. Wakey Bakey Wednesday, baby.